For decades, Pakistan has carried a shameful legacy of sexual violence, beginning with the atrocities of 1971 and continuing today with the persecution of its religious minorities. From the mass sexual assaults of hundreds of thousands of Bengali women to the forced abductions and conversions of Hindu and Christian girls, Islamabad has nurtured a culture of impunity. Yet, in a display of hypocrisy, Pakistan tried to accuse India of crimes against women at the UN. But this propaganda backfired. India's strong response laid bare Pakistan's own dark record. We have a report.
Pakistan's record on women's rights has long been one of violence, impunity, and systemic abuse. From persecuting its minorities to shielding perpetrators of sexual crimes, Islamabad has built a shameful legacy that continues even today. And yet, despite this deplorable record, Pakistan attempted to raise the issue of sexual violence in Jammu and Kashmir at the UN Security Council's open debate this week. But India's chargé d'affaires at the UN, Eldos Matthew Punos, delivered a scathing rebuttal, reminding Islamabad of its shameful past and its ongoing abuse of women and minorities. He reminded the world of Pakistan Army's brutal record in 1971, when between 200,000 and 400,000 Bengali women were raped during the Liberation War in East Pakistan. These were not random crimes. The violence was systematic. Rape camps were set up, Hindu women were singled out, and pregnancies were forced as part of a deliberate strategy to terrorize communities. To this day, Pakistan has refused to apologize or accept accountability for these crimes against humanity.
The utter impunity with which Pakistan Army perpetrated heinous crimes of gross sexual violence against hundreds of thousands of women in erstwhile East Pakistan in 1971 is a matter of shameful record. This deplorable pattern continues unabated and with impunity to this day.
The Indian envoy underlined that Pakistan's shameful legacy did not end in 1971. It continues in the form of abductions, forced conversions, child marriages, and sexual violence against minority women, particularly Hindus and Christians in Sindh and Punjab. According to a 2024 report by the Sustainable Social Development Organization, Pakistan recorded 24,000 cases of abductions, 5,000 cases of rape, and 500 so-called dishonor killings last year alone. Hindu minor girls remain the most vulnerable, often kidnapped, forcibly married to abductors, and converted against their will. Crimes that Pakistan's judiciary routinely validates instead of punishing.
Rampant abduction, trafficking, child early and forced marriages and domestic servitude, sexual violence and forced religious conversions of thousands of vulnerable women and girls as weapons of persecution towards religious and ethnic minority communities are reported and chronicled, including in the recent OHCHR reports. These reports highlight that the vile acts by Pakistan are also validated by its judiciary. It is ironical that those who perpetrate these crimes are now masquerading as champions of justice. The duplicity and hypocrisy is self-evident.
India, by contrast, has taken concrete steps to safeguard women, both at home and abroad. Domestically, initiatives like the Nirbhaya Fund, nationwide emergency helplines, and one-stop crisis centers provide institutional support to survivors of sexual violence. Internationally, India was the first country to deploy an all-women police unit in UN peacekeeping and continues to push survivor-focused reforms within the UN system. While Islamabad clings to denial and doublespeak, New Delhi's record demonstrates accountability, protection, and action, values Pakistan has failed to uphold.